Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is the first recording for reciting the Quran. And before we start, I just recommend that you're in a place where you're not going to be disturbed. And the first thing I want you to do is just to make sure you've got rid of any distractions which are around you, and that you won't be disturbed for the next few minutes. And also, whilst you're kind of bringing your attention here, also just notice how you're breathing. Notice whether you're breathing in or whether you're breathing out, and follow a couple of your breaths. And this is really important before we start, and you'll find out in a minute exactly why. But just take your time just to make sure that you can identify where your breath is. So I'm going to start reading, and after I read, I'm going to leave a space for you to practice. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. Okay, so how did you do? So what I'm going to start with is bringing more attention towards the letters that we're reciting. So I'm going to start with the first word, and I just want you to practice. أعوذ. Okay, so the first letter is a hamza, it's a sound. It just comes from the empty part of the mouth. It's just your breath. It's a very simple kind of sound. And the second letter is an ayn. So this comes from a different part. This actually comes from within the throat. And this is why it's important to make sure you're breathing properly and have your breath in control, because you need to be able to take the breath from below your throat, otherwise your throat will be tense. So remember to take a breath and just practice the letter ayn, ayn, and try and notice which part of your throat it actually originates in. And remember to breathe as well. Ayn. So now we've got, this is going to be an a sound. So oh. Okay, so that's just the first two syllables. Now a followed by o. So o. So try and practice that and slow it down and give it time. Okay, then the third letter, or the final letter of this word, is vu. And just to make sure that your tongue is coming forward and your tongue's touching the bottom of the top teeth. Va, val. So here it's a vu. So now practice that. Make sure your tongue's kind of relaxed when you're saying vu. Vu. And just practice that together and slow it down and give each letter its due attention. So أعوذ. Now we're going to move on to the next word. It starts with a B. So B is a flat letter, so remember to widen your lips when you're reading this. Smiling makes it easier. Billahi. So the ba joins onto the lam. Just practice the lam sound. Billahi. Okay, and remember to breathe. أعوذ بالله. Okay, and then we move on to the third letter, which is minash. Again, remembering to just keep your mouth wide and kind of almost smiling. This will help your tongue be flat for these letters. These are flat letters, so your tongue's meant to be flat and your lips should be wide. So it's minash, and then the next word, shaytan. And just getting comfortable with this ta. So here the lips are going to go round. Yeah, so minash, then ta. So make sure your lips are going round here. Ta, shaytan. Okay, so minash-shaytan. And again, take your time and feel where the letters are coming from. So especially with the ta, take your time and practice and say ta. Try and leave the tongue at the origin and figure out where in your tongue the origin actually is. Shaytanir rajim. So then the ra at the end. So from the ni, there's going to be a flat sound, ni, and this ni joins onto the ra. Nir-ra, nir-rajim. So we'll leave it at that. Nir-rajim. Okay, so we'll do from minash. Remember to breathe before you start. Minash-shaytanir rajim. Okay, and then we just practice the first half again. A'udhu billahi minash. Good. A'udhu billahi minash shaytanir rajim. Again, just taking your time, remembering to breathe, and giving each letter the due attention it deserves. Not worrying so much about getting to the end, not worrying about your breath running out. Just focusing on the letter that you're on. So again, this time you might want to do half, you might want to do the whole thing. I'm going to read the whole thing and you're welcome to practice however you feel comfortable. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. Good, so I hope you had a good time with this practice, and I hope it really helped you understand the letters which are used in this dua which we recite. So this is the dua we usually recite before we start reading the Quran, and it kind of helps protect us from the distractions that shaitan brings. So it's good to be able to recite this properly and feel that Allah helps you in terms of not getting too distracted when it's time to recite the Quran, and actually giving you the ability to bring your attention to the actual Quran rather than being too distracted with thoughts and other emotions. So it's a really amazing dua, and just to go through the translation, A'udhu, I seek refuge, Billahi, in Allah. So we ask Allah for refuge. Refuge means protection. So A'udhu Billahi, I seek protection in Allah, Minash shaytan, from shaitan, from the devil, Ar-Rajim, who is cursed. So this is the dua which we recite before we even start reciting the Quran. So again, you're welcome to use this recording as many times as you feel you need to, and I would recommend going through it a few times to be able to really understand how to recite this properly.